Okay, so I was not expecting such a haunting experience. I won't be spoiling any plot details, but there will be gameplay from the first few hours of the game. Expedition 33 has gotten a lot of attention leading up to its release, but it somehow always remained at the periphery of my attention. And then something about its, I don't know, aura just hooked my interest, and I gave it a go. The world of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 very much embodies the idea of show don't tell. You're initially thrown into the perspective of Gustav, a man we know almost nothing about besides he's very suave. Relationships aren't exposition dumped at you. You have to pick up these details yourself during the events of the gommage, which is apparently French for erasure or exfoliate, as it's also some kind of skincare technique. Anyway, the very beginning is mostly just walking around and having dialogue like most JRPGs, but you do get a small taste of combat in the form of a basic tutorial. How Expedition 33 does its world building might not be to everyone's taste, but it is nice to see a world that is very detailed but isn't explained at you or put you in the shoes of an ignorant blank slate character. If you have eyeballs that function, you will notice that the game is very, very pretty and aggressively French. I think this really helps form the game's identity, as it has the rich cultural history of France to draw upon, likely stemming from developer Sandfall Interactive being, well, French. And if you have ears that function, you will also notice that the music in this game is beautiful and aggressively French. I don't mean that as a dig, really. The soundtrack has such a sense of identity baked into it. The music immediately captured my attention. Fellow NieR enjoyers, I think you will find a lot to like in this soundtrack. And I'd be very surprised if the soundtrack isn't nominated at the Game Awards, because that would mean we somehow got more games with absolutely phenomenal soundtracks. A quick word on graphics and graphical options. You've got all the basics, but the options are nothing outstanding. I don't think it matters too much. Expedition 33 ran pretty well for me, with no noticeable frame drops or other hiccups. I played on PC, and my rig has a Ryzen 7800 X3D processor and a Radeon RX 7800 XT GPU. I played at 1440p with most options at their highest, frame rate capped to 60 with no issues. Again, the game is very pretty, especially cutscenes, which could easily be compiled into a movie. However, it is slightly jarring moving from a major cutscene to standard dialogue, where the characters are obviously not motion captured for the scene. This is really my only complaint with how the game looks. It is quite the stark difference, as you can see. How pretty the game is all well and good, but how does the game play? Well, I'm impressed with the innovation on display. Combat is of course turn-based with a particular order according to character speeds, which you can see on the left side of the screen. The presentation is very Persona-pilled, down to being able to shoot the enemy with a gun. The difference with that particular mechanic is that you can actually hit enemy weak spots and do major damage that way, and it doesn't end your turn. Instead, Expedition 33 has an action point system, which is consumed by skills or shooting and regenerated with basic attacks. This is further expanded upon with the ability to dodge and parry attacks, which can give you more AP depending on your equipment, or even powerful counterattacks if you perfect parry a combo attack. Take all of that and combine it with the quick time events on your own attacks to deal more damage, and this turn-based RPG now feels like an action game. And I haven't even touched upon Pictos or Lumina skills yet, which act as modifiers to combat, such as added AP on a perfect dodge, increased status effect chance, stuff like that. There is a strong sense of swiftness and skill in these mechanics, and it feels awesome when you can pull off a series of perfect parries and attacks. Of course, it helps that the animations and sound design lend a lot of weight to all of this.
Brace yourselves.
Damn it.
Storm is coming.
Too early. I think Expedition 33 will be up there with Bravely Default, Persona, and the like in regards to its game design. Overall, I have very little to criticize here. If you're into JRPGs or well-presented stories or just games as art, I think you owe it to yourself to check out Expedition 33. Especially since it's on Game Pass if you have that, or 50 bucks on Steam, which is pretty nice to see in a world of increasing game prices. I streamed the first few hours of Expedition 33, which you can find on my channel, and I will continue streaming it. If that interests you, do a subscribble, please. Or if you just like what I'm doing, I'll be exploring more games in the future. Like, comment, all that jazz, it helps. I hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.